right? At this point, ransomware gangs are very financially driven. And I think it's really interesting because as we move on, we continue to say, shouldn't we not pay this ransom? Like, if we quit paying the ransom, won't they quit operating? Well, it's really interesting because here in the US, and maybe you can give us some insight on any Australian legislation that's being discussed, but we've talked about making it illegal to pay the ransom. And groups like Conti and Revil, they've actually said that's not going to deter us one bit.
Even if you choose to not pay the ransom, if they've got in, they tend to not do the ransomware until the last moment of where they kind of making their public disclosure that they've got in, and they're collecting data from you. They're collecting all the valuable information they can prior to the ransomware. And then if you don't pay the ransomware, they can still make their money on selling that data on the dark web.
What's happening is DarkSide Group, they take a minimum of about 1.5 months to a maximum of about 3 months. And within that amount of time, they've enumerated your whole network. They have found everything of value. I mean, they're good. They have cycles doing this now that they don't need 6 months. They are in, they find the valuables, and at the end of that 88 days, everything in your environment is encrypted, right? And that takes us back to all the different opportunities we had to detect them and stop it before the ransomware hits, right?
My goodness.
When it comes to getting into your environment and finding everything they need, sometimes that's being sped up depending on the layers of security that you have in your enterprise.
Hypothetically, we've just talked about two care and community organizations that got hacked and affected with ransomware. If they were both in a collective defense platform where they were both had a network detection and response system within their own organizations, and they're now sharing that information across, how do you think that would have helped them in terms of being able to detect the event before the ransomware hits?
But when we talk about collective defense, it's not just about phishing. This is about advanced behaviors, right? Those behaviors on the network that we talked about the DarkSide Group using before they execute ransomware. Now we can share those behaviors across the world as well to help defend organizations.
And that process as well helps you prioritize what you need to look at inside your own environment, right? So, you always hear around alert fatigue and trying to filter out what your SOC analyst needs to look at and the level of experience they have to look at certain behaviors inside your environment as well. So being able to almost crowdsource other SOC experts, across different, across your ecosystem, across at a national level, or even through Five Eyes, right, is going to benefit your organization.
Excellent. So we hope to have this as a regular event, a once a month update, just reviewing the security events of happening around the world, particularly in Australia and New Zealand, and how they relate to the care and community sector. We'll say goodbye for now. Thanks for listening in, and we'll keep you posted next time.